What's up, guys? Nick Steele here back. Today we're talking about the team bringing in Kyrie Irving. This at first seemed very confusing to me because the Knicks are in a rebuild. They're developing their players. The Knicks basically drafted every single player on the roster. Of course, let me show you. Mitchell Robinson, we drafted him. RJ Barrett, we drafted him. Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, Jericho Sims, Miles McBride. Like, we drafted basically our entire roster. So if we bring in Kyrie Irving, if he's not available or if he is a problem in the locker room, that is obviously a serious concern because we don't want that. We want the Knicks, who are focused on the young guys, to be in the best position possible. But at the end of the day, since 2019, playing with Kevin Durant, Kyrie has averaged 27.1 points per game, 6 assists, 4.7 rebounds on 49, 41, 92 splits. He is one of the best players in the NBA. He is an elite guard. I was just thinking about what would our starting lineup be with Kyrie, and I decided that it would probably be Emmanuel Quickly, Kyrie Irving, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Now, to me, assuming we remove Coach Tibb and bring in someone that can run an offense, because a couple of things Coach Tibb did wrong. One, the offense was way too predictable. Two, bad rotation. I'm looking at Alec Burks at point guard. Evan Fournier should not be in the starting lineup, bro. He can shoot the ball, but he's not a good defender, and there's no upside with Evan Fournier. So if we're able to do those things, we bring in Kyrie, we get a new coach, the young guys take another step. I mean, the Knicks could seriously challenge any single team in the East. Would they beat the Heat or the Celtics in 7 games? Probably not. I'm not putting my money on that. But the Knicks, if the Knicks don't bring in Kyrie, they'll probably barely make the playoffs. I don't think the Knicks will miss the playoffs because I expect them to be much better. But at least if they do go out there and get Kyrie, they'll make the playoffs. I think they might be able to get out of the first round. They might be able to get out of the second round. I mean, I think people are really going to sleep on the impact of Kyrie Irving, man. He's an amazing player. Julius Randle, he came into last season out of shape. That was the biggest thing with Randle. He was not in shape. This season, he's in incredible shape. I've seen the workouts. I've seen his body. He looks a lot slimmer. Jericho Sims is another guy that looks in incredible shape. So I just think with Julius Randle getting back to where he was the year before, Kyrie Irving, RJ Barrett, I expect him to become an all-star. I love RJ Barrett, especially on the defensive side. And even offensively, he can put up 30 points. RJ's a great player, man. I love that dude. I'm glad we brought him in. He was drafted right next to John Morant and Zion Williamson, so a lot of people seem to think that he's not, he's not a superstar. I mean, RJ Barrett, you can build a team around him. Championship? I don't know. We'll see. But you can certainly build a very good team around RJ Barrett. So Kyrie Irving, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle is a very good team. Not to mention that you've got a guy like a Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin. You've got Emmanuel Quickly and Quentin Grimes, Alec Burks, and Evan Fournier, some veterans. Cam Reddish, we haven't seen him because he was injured, and also Coach Tibb refused to play him. Another reason why I want Coach Tibb gone. It sounds just crazy to think that the Knicks could be a contender with Kyrie Irving, because if the Nets weren't a contender, how are the Knicks? But the Knicks have a much better defense than the Nets, and they have just a lot more depth. And also, even though Coach Tibb isn't the greatest, he's definitely an upgrade over Steve Nash. Steve Nash has done very poorly in Brooklyn, man. It's just common sense. If you're a Nets fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because when James Harden was there, I actually covered the Nets a lot. And Steve Nash, this is the rotations. I mean, I don't know. Steve Nash is not the greatest coach, but I do think that the Knicks could really benefit off of Kyrie. The only concern is just going to be his availability, because if you look at Kyrie in Brooklyn, I mean, he's missed 123 out of 226 regular season games. He only played in 29 last season. Kyrie has until June 29 to pick up or decline his $36.9 million play option next season. The Nets are over the cap, and they have no way of replacing him. So the Nets are screwed if Kyrie Irving leaves, yet alone goes to the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks and the Nets, I'm not going to say they're rivals. I mean, I guess they are. But if Kyrie leaves the Nets and goes to the Knicks, not only does he basically screw over the Nets and Kevin Durant, but he also goes to the quote-unquote their rival. So, I mean, to me, that would be great because, I don't hate the Nets. I don't dislike them. I used to go to a ton of Nets games. I mean, I would root for the other team. I remember when they were in Jersey, but, I don't have an issue with the Nets. Obviously, when we play each other, it feels like a rivalry, man. There's a hatred a little bit there, but I mean, I don't mind the players on the Nets. It's just the Nets, I guess. But yeah, if Kyrie did go to the Knicks, man, it would be so cool because the Knicks definitely could use another guard. They've got some good young guards, but I'm talking about an elite player. Kyrie Irving is an elite basketball player. He's a top 20 player. He can put the ball in the hoop. The Knicks already have a good defense. They just need to score. So like Emmanuel quickly running the offense, Kyrie playing off ball, and then like RJ Barrett can do a little bit of everything. And then you've got Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. It's just a very, I don't want to say good because like it's just a very like, I guess, balanced team because you've got Quickly and Kyrie who are basically just offense. RJ Barrett is a very good defender, but he's also good in offense. And then you've got Julius Randle who's offense, and then Mitchell Robinson who's defense. You've got a rim protector. Mitchell Robinson has Defensive Player of the Year type of potential. And if Mitchell Robinson does end up leaving in free agency, the Knicks have Jericho Sims, who looks like an absolute tank. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the pictures of him this offseason, he looks absolutely just jacked. And he was good last season, especially defensively and rebounding the basketball. So, I know I'm biased. I know I might be overhyping the Knicks a little bit, but I do think if we get Kyrie Irving, we can beat just about any single team in the East. I mean, the Bucks, the Celtics, those are some very good teams, bro. The Miami Heat. But I just feel like we could definitely give them a run for their money. And that's not to mention that the Knicks are still a young team. So, like, the next couple of years is mostly just development. But at least Kyrie Irving right now would help the Knicks win more games because if we want the Knicks to develop, I mean, you definitely need to give them minutes, but you also need to be putting them in situations where they're playing in meaningful games. Like, again, I don't think the Knicks are going to be bad without Kyrie. Like, they're still going to be they're still probably going to be in the run for the playoffs. But just getting Kyrie Irving could go a long way, especially with the upside. I mean, we know he's a good player, but if he can actually just stay on the court, bro, I mean, you're looking at, again, not an MVP type of player, but you're looking at a superstar type of talent. I mean, Kyrie Irving goes to the Lakers, he makes them a championship contender. Whatever team Kyrie goes to, basically he makes them a contender. I mean, even the Knicks, like the Knicks are going to be one of the best teams in the East. I don't think anyone would want to play the Knicks because they're just a scrappy young team that defends, and then they've got Kyrie Irving who's going to be hopefully completely bought in. But yeah, I'm going to end it here, guys. I actually just made a video and it got disrupted, man. I'm already sick, so just going to end it here. But I appreciate you guys. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know. Also, let me know your thoughts on Kyrie Irving to the Knicks. Would you be a fan of this? And if you're not, is it just because of the availability? Is it because you don't want him with this young Knicks team because of like the locker room concerns? Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I'm out.